Welcome to the Knowledge Entrepreneurs Show, where we celebrate the innovators driving change in the education industry. At Edison OS, we've worked with over 500 knowledge entrepreneurs to turn their edtech ideas into profitable businesses. Hi, Ananta. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking your time out to be here today on this show, the Knowledge Entrepreneur Show. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy and excited to be here. And greetings to everyone who's listening to us right now.
Great. It's our pleasure, Ananta. So, my first question usually is a very open ended question. The listeners and I both would like to know the person behind, the trainings that you do. So, if you can walk us through the journey up until the point when you decided to become a trainer, what kind of, what was that turning point, or what made you think that you wanted to become a trainer? And until then, if you can describe, we'll take it up after that, from there.
Thank you for asking. So I am Ananta Khurana. I was born and brought up in Panipat, which is my hometown in Haryana. So I did my schooling from there. And afterwards, I did my graduation and post graduation in commerce from Ramjas College, North Campus, Delhi University. So it wasn't really that I thought I wanted to become a trainer, but it was by the intelligent flow of the universe that I chanced upon this job as a soft skills trainer in a college. So this was my first job. This was in 2014. And when I was giving the demo itself, I realized that I was teaching so well. I was passionate about teaching ever since I was a child. I knew I wanted to become a teacher. Even when I was studying commerce, I knew I wanted to become a teacher. But then when they invited me to give a demo as a soft skills trainer and I went, I realized that I loved teaching soft skills more than I would have loved teaching commerce. And I was doing such a fantabulous job. I mean, I knew in my heart that I was doing a greater job than I would have done doing if I was teaching commerce to those students. So that's how my journey as a soft skills trainer started. So I trained students from various disciplines during that college time. So these students were learning office management, fashion technology, travel and tourism management, holistic beauty culture. So that way I've always been blessed that I've always taught students from diverse backgrounds. And after 4 years of teaching college students, I moved to corporate. So this was a teaching come corporate experience. There's this company who facilitates international certification courses like CPA, CFA, predictive business analysis. So there I got to teach working professionals who had experience of, some had experience of 5 years, some even had experience of 20 years. So that kind of diverse range I got to teach. And after that, at one point, I decided that I wanted to do something of my own. So I thought that this is the right time to do it because there comes a point in life where you have lots of responsibilities, and then you get really scared to do something of your own because you're always worried about that there are bills to be paid. So I was like, okay, this is the right point in life where if I wanted to become an entrepreneur, then this is the time to leave the safety net of the job and do something of your own. So that's when I started doing it independently. I even honestly, I took some detours also. I tried my hand in some other things apart from soft skills training. But yes, ever since I have been training people in soft skills in spoken English since 2020. I have been doing it uh, under the name of my own venture, which is AK Online Classes or Learn English with AK. Both the names are there on social media. So that's what I've been doing. And presently, I work as a visiting faculty in some institutes here in Gurgaon. I also get invited for trainings in schools and colleges and sometimes corporate. I do give online classes for spoken English, soft skills. And right now, I am also training some, co founders or like higher up people in soft skills, like in certain topics, whatever they request for. So that's what is happening right now. And overall, this has been my journey.
Got it, Ananta. So, you said that, when you were studying itself, you started teaching your juniors. Is that right? That's how it began?
No, actually, always had a passion for teaching. Ever since I
Okay.
was a child, I knew that I wanted to teach.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, when you do internships in corporate and all, which I did, I gave myself good exposure of internships also. If you'll see my LinkedIn,
Right,
there are
right.
2, 3 internships.
Yeah, yeah.
So while I was doing those internship, I did get excited for corporate jobs sometimes, but deep down it was always teaching, and I'm net qualified also. So like I was always following this path of where I knew that I wanted to teach, and yeah, this training thing happened.
Great. You said that you did your commerce and teaching. You were not planning to teach soft skills, but then you were planning to teach accounts and commerce and stuff like that. But this kind of happened to it just happened like that in the flow. So what exactly happened? Can we? The reason I'm asking this question is I'm just trying to identify that exact moment where you grab that opportunity, so that people, if possible, can replicate such things in a different way.
Great. So, thank you for asking this question. I think I'll
Okay.
take some time and really explain because this story is close to my heart. I like to call it
Sure.
intelligent flow of the universe or the intelligent flow of life. I believe
Okay.
that life has a very beautiful, intelligent flow. It will just put you where it wants you to, where you are best suited, what you are meant to do. And the same thing happened with me. So, I always
Okay.
knew I wanted to teach, but I was always studying commerce. And I was a very brilliant child while I was in school, but later, while I was doing my graduation, post graduation, since I was living away from my hometown, there was so much else also to manage. So, as a person, as a young 18-year-old adult, you are trying to figure out life, you're trying to figure out how to live, how to manage your means, and attend college and travel. So, there was so much on my plate that studies somewhere took a back seat. And I wouldn't say that I was a brilliant student in my graduation and post graduation, but in schooling I was. So so I like when I used to think of teaching also, so I knew that if I were to teach commerce, I would have to really up my game and do so much. And as a Delhi University student, I had kind of my blinkers on. So when I started looking for job, I was really looking for job in Delhi University itself, and that's it. I was not even looking at so many other avenues that were present. For me being in Delhi, like I had many options, but I was not looking at them. So I
Right.
would only appear for Delhi University interviews, which were, I'd say, they were a few only. And given the blessing of us being the most populous country, for even for one job, like approximately 1,000 people would appear. So what were the
Yeah. Yeah.
chances? So so I just kept on appearing for Delhi University interviews, and it took some time. So I'm an extrovert person. I make friends very easily. So while appearing for
Okay.
these interviews, I made friends with 2, 3, 4 people who I was just bumping into again and again. So there's this one girl. She got a job and she had my phone number. She gave me a call and she said that I recently joined an institute as a coordinator, and they have a vacancy for a soft skills trainer. Would you like to come?
Right.
I knew that I am someone who was always very great in theory subjects like organizational behavior, like marketing and all those stuff. These subjects were really close to my heart as compared to the practical subjects like mathematics and accounts and all that. So I was
Right.
like, I know that I can teach these topics, might as well give it a chance. So I went,
Okay.
I sat for the interview, and they had asked me to come prepared with 1 or 2 topics. I came prepared with those topics, and when I started giving the demo, like I realized that what I was teaching was way beyond the level of those students that I was teaching. So, but they
Right.
liked the way I taught. So they gave me
Right.
another book, gave me 30 minutes that you prepare this simple topic that's there and deliver it. So when I delivered that topic, I knew, like, feedback, of course, I got later, but I knew while I was delivering the topic that I was giving my, like, as if you're giving the best performance of your life. So I knew
Right.
that I was doing my best. I knew I was doing it with every pore of my being, you know
Right.
and that I would say is the moment when I realized that I'm cut out for this. I was
Right.
always this person who would take part in all the extracurricular activities. Forever I had been doing that. I had confidence, I had public speaking skills, I had a well-rounded personality, I was head girl in my school. So it was as if
Wow. Okay.
all of my life I was being prepared for this moment where I knew
Okay.
what to teach in public speaking because I was living it throughout.
Right. Right.
That's the moment I would say where I realized that yes, I'm cut out for this.
Great. I was. This is great. Thank you for sharing the moment you realized that you were cut out for this. But I was wanting, how exactly did you land up this job? And I think what I'll take away from this conversation is that networking. no matter
Yes,
where you are, if there is an opportunity to network, and especially in a place where you are coming for interviews, it
yes.
is the place to network, because everybody are in the same boat, and you might have more similarities than less. And so I hope, if people aren't networkers, I think they know by now why networking is so important. And especially in jobs, I think referral and word of mouth are given such high priority. So it really helps if somebody refers you rather than you directly applying as a stranger and going. So
Now that we are talking about networking, I do want to mention that most of the wonderful opportunities that I've gotten till now, they have been because of networking.
we will come to that. That's going to be a separate topic, in altogether. We will definitely talk about networking, because I think one of the key things that we've always wanted this podcast to deliver is how people can get clients. So yeah,
Right.
we will come to that. But now let's go back to the point. You've got this job as a soft skills trainer. You were trying for Delhi University, you didn't get it in Delhi University, and then there's a shift. So what happens here? How long did you teach here? What are the things? And another thing I think we can take away safely from this: if somebody is going to give a demo, they could probably ask, what is the level of the students there? Are they beginners, intermediate, advanced? And I think you can prepare for all the three, but probably find out and then give a demo suitable to whatever the crowd is. That's something that I take away from your experience. But so yeah, what was your journey like there? Your first job? What are the challenges you faced? Did you face anything? What are the things you learned?
May I also take the liberty to add that along with, gauging the level of the students that you're going to be giving this demo for, and I want to add that just bring your best self, because when you're giving
Right.
interviews, that is kind of a very trying time. So you're not sure, especially when it's your first job, you're not sure where to apply, how to go about this. So that process kind of becomes taxing, wherein you somewhere start losing your self-worth a little. You start questioning yourself, what is happening to me, why am I not landing a job
Mm,
today? So I want to say that, again, the intelligent design of the universe, you will reach where you are meant to reach, but have the patience, because, I always think and say that it's not just the company or the organization that's choosing you. You are also choosing a right fit. You're also choosing a right place to
right.
be in.
Right.
Just bring your best self to your demos and interviews. That's also something that I do want to mention. Now, your question, that what was my experience like?
Sorry, I just have one more question to follow up from. You said best self, right? It's a very commonly used thing, I understand. But could you elaborate what exactly is that best self? Like, what do you mean? Do you mean to say that, they say give it your all, right? I think everybody wants to give it their all. But what does it mean when you say bring your best self, give it your all? Can you please elaborate a little bit on that? I think
Sure.
it helps.
So, what I mean by bringing your best self to the interview is that, see, first of all, there's no one formula that fits all. Second of all, do what makes you feel most confident. Some people, when they are all chilled out, when they're not stressing too much, when they're not studying too much, then they feel that, okay, I know it all. I'm going to go give a nice,
Ah, right. I got it now.
some people
Right.
who want to revise till the very end. So, whatever gives you confidence, you prepare
Got
according
it.
to that.
Got it.
And most of all, like, really believe in yourself. I have always been someone who has believed in herself even in circumstances when no one else did. So I think that is something that helps me navigate through every challenge in life in the best possible way, because I never leave my side. So that's what I
Right.
want to say, that when you're in that interview process, it kind of gets taxing. Sometimes you start questioning yourself, that am I good enough or not? But every time you're going to a new interview, like, just believe in yourself. It could be your day. Don't carry that baggage from the previous interviews. So that is something that I would say, coming with your best self, having the confidence, having the belief in you, and preparing in a way that gives you confidence. If
Right.
no
Right.
preparation gives you confidence, please go ahead, do that. If you think that you already know everything, please, like, if you think that you want to really prepare, revise, do that. Whatever gives you
Right. Right.
confidence. If you think preparing for interview questions gives you confidence, do that.
Right. Right. No, thank you so much for clarifying this. I don't know, maybe I'm the only guy who didn't get it, but let me rephrase it just, if it's going to be helpful. So, bringing your best self is the way I've taken it. No matter where you're going, you don't do any extra adjustments to go suit that place. But you look at your past and see in what conditions you performed your best and retain that. Be comfortable and don't do anything extra or that you're not used to doing just because of a certain interview is the way I take it. Uh, so okay, great, yeah,
Yeah,
and
knowing that you're good enough. Sometimes we
yeah,
feel that we are not good enough for something, but knowing that you are good enough and taking that along with you and performing to the best of your abilities and leaving the rest. So that's something.
got it, Ananta. Just another tangential question here, because you touched upon the topic that knowing you're good enough. It reminded me a little bit of manifestation, the word that I've been coming across a lot these days. Is that something you touch upon in your trainings? Is that something that you think about? Do you have any thoughts
I'm
on it?
someone who hugely believes in manifestations. I think I'm a master manifester. And
Wow. So
I think,
what is manifestation actually, and how does it work?
okay, I think everyone is a manifester. I think everyone is a master manifester. So manifestation is, knowing very clearly in your mind what is it that you want and believing that it is possible for you. So if you operate from that vibrational level, um, sooner or later you will have it. Be
Hmm.
it a very small something like a cup of coffee, if you're thinking that I want to get a cup of coffee, or be it your dream job, whatever it is that you truly hold in your mind that this is something that I want and truly believe that it can be yours. And sooner or later it comes to you. That's something that I believe in, and I really think I'm a master manifester. I have manifested thousands and lakhs of things in my life, I guess.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we say it like, okay, see, we are aware or not aware, we all have some deep inside us, there is a certain direction in which we are going.
Yes.
So I think consciously manifesting it is being aware of that. I think that's the only difference. When you say everybody are manifestors, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Everybody are manifesting whatever they are. But
Everybody is manifesting at all points of time. The thing is, we are aware about it or not. When we are not aware, we are
got it.
manifesting unconsciously. All of us are.
Right, right,
So,
right, right.
if we get aware, then there's another big journey that you have to take. Understanding manifestation. Even I had to take this journey. Like unconsciously, there was a point when I knew that unconsciously I manifest thousands of things, but consciously I could not. But now I
Right.
have belief on my conscious manifestations as well.
Okay, cool. Do you do that? I've seen people when the time hits 11, they consider that as a specific time for manifestation. Do you try those things as well?
Um, I think that 11:11 is actually an indication that you're on the right path. Instead of that, okay, I'm going to be like thinking those thoughts at that
Oh,
moment, but it's more of a certificate kind of that you're on the right path.
oh, if you spot that those timings and stuff like that.
Yes, yes.
Got it,
Angel
got it.
numbers, like
I've
they
tried
say.
these things, yeah, now and then. So just thought, somebody knows it. I'll just, and especially from a trainer's perspective.
I can
So
actually talk about manifestation for 1 hour. I have lots of things to talk about, but I'm just kind of restricting myself here because I'm thinking that, okay, let me focus on the training and soft skills and might
yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't want. This is not a manifestation podcast, but although we can have one later,
Yeah, but
if we
if you
think
choose
that,
to do a podcast on manifestation, I can talk about manifestation for over 2 hours also. 1 hour is nothing.
wow, we will definitely schedule, because I have so many questions. Not only do I have a lot of questions, a lot of people around me also have a lot of questions with, specific use cases.
To
Oh, can I
divulge a
manifest
little
this? Can I do that?
information,
But what about this? But
so to
anyway, we'll talk.
divulge a
So
little
let's come back to
information,
your journey. And, sorry, you were going to start talking about your experience at the first job, your learnings, and stuff like that. Please.
yes. So, this first job that I joined, I
Right.
worked there for 4 years, and this was a wonderful experience. I taught college students from the age group like 18 to 20, 21. And honestly, I love teaching this age group. They're so full of energy and full of ideas. It's a treat to have that kind of audience in your class, because you can have such great discussions with them. Also, they are forming their ideas about lots of things. So that's where, you can kind of give them a little nudge also in the right direction. You can give them, a little bit idea about the how things are going to be like once they enter the job market. And from that's where you can, kind of establish the importance of the skills that they're learning in the class just now, and how those are going to help them later when they're in the job market. So this was a wonderful experience. I totally loved teaching those students. And but yes, I did that for 4 years, and after 4 years I kind of thought that maybe I'm doing something, because I was teaching the same curriculum over and over again to different set of students. I realized that okay, probably I wanted to do more now. I myself wanted to grow as a trainer, as a
Right.
person. And that's when I decided to shift my job after 4 years.
Got it. But in this 4 years, it was a very smooth ride, is it? I mean, you didn't have any challenges, no adjustments you had to make.
Most of it was a smooth ride, but yeah, sometimes the challenges that I did face were, for a little portion, I faced this challenge that I kind of worked for two trainers. So, like, there's this point in
Mm,
time when one faculty was missing, and the organization took a very long time to appoint another faculty. So, for about 3 months,
right.
I was working for two trainers, and it was very
Wow.
taxing, because as a trainer or as a teacher, you constantly speak. So, there's a lot
Right.
of strain on like how much can you speak, and you also have to
Correct.
speak
Correct.
louder for a class of 40 students or 50 students. And
Yeah.
as a trainer, what happens is, as a soft skills trainer, you cannot be complacent at any point in your session. uh, you
Right.
know these sessions have to be high energy sessions at all times.
Right.
And
Right.
to make sure that your session is high energy from beginning till end, you have to be really high energy, you know so as a
Right.
trainer, to tell you the truth, the moment if I'm taking a 3 hour session or a 4 hour session, the moment that session gets over and the moment your audience leave, you are like, oh, like, you just sit there like a really tired person. You don't want anyone to see you in that mode, but that's the kind of energy it takes, and you have to give
Right.
to make a session, work. So yeah, so that was one challenge that I faced for a few months. In fact, it was so taxing that, to tell you the truth, at one point, one day, I was so frustrated, I went in and I punched,
Okay.
and I told my colleague friends that I'm resigning today. But they
You
were very,
punched whom?
like, I punched in. I did not
Oh,
punch
okay. 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 I'm
them.
sorry. Yeah. You said you were so frustrated. I thought you
I was
punched something or
frustrated.
something.
I punched in, like in the morning when you go and you
Got it.
punched in, and then I went inside and I told my colleague friends that I'm resigning right now. I am resigning today. I'm done. But yeah, I got some good friends, and they kind of counseled me and then said, just come inside. It's gonna be okay. And it's just, they kind of convinced me that it's a temporary thing you're facing. It's gonna be okay in a while. So, and yes, towards the end, when I left the organization, though I left the organization for really personal reasons of growth, I wanted to grow in life.
Right.
But yes, towards the end, in a few months, I felt like, there's lots of organizational politics, which I think is, of course, in all organizations. But yes,
Yeah.
it was a bit challenging. But then I also feel that as a person, I'm able to navigate through that, because I believe in hard work and I believe in smart work. And I, like, when it comes to organization politics, something that I believe in and I teach my students is that wherever there are people, there's going to be politics. So that's,
Right.
so so what I say is that you do your work so well that no one is ever able to question you on your work. Like,
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
leave
Correct.
any point there. So that's something that I follow. And then second thing that I say is that, like, at the same time, be so smart that, no one can uh, you know hurt you in any way, or your image professionally. Be smart. Don't
Right.
let that happen to you. So that's something that I believe in and I follow. So yeah, it was still fine. So these were the only challenges, I would say. Rest was a cakewalk.
Great. Great, Ananta. But coming back to the challenge that you faced, that when you had to do the job of two trainers, right? You did it for 3 months. Um, challenge you faced. How did you overcome it? Like, did you kind of carry food, or how did you overcome that?
When I was faced with this challenge, I actually challenged myself to perform even better. So
So
You
it's
know,
just willpower and mind power is what you're trying to
yes,
say.
it was. It
Okay.
was sheer willpower. I decided that I was not going to, like, whatever is happening. I'm not going to let that impact the quality of education that those
Right.
students are getting. So I just pushed harder and harder. That's how I did. Yeah.
Got it. Got it, Ananta. So I just want to, go back a little bit because see, you were applying to go get a job in the Delhi University, and you said you got a opportunity to for the soft skills training, right?
Yes.
You might be good with your soft skills, but did you go through any specific course much before itself to handle that demo, or did you prepare just before the demo? What is it? I know you said you did a couple of courses.
Yes. So, before the demo, so of course the preparation was, I prepared for all the whatever theory subjects I used to study earlier in college. I had prepared from those books only because I knew the, especially the organization behavior part that I used to study in college. That's what I prepared for. And later, I did not really do any other specific course for soft skills. Also, I think that one more blessed thing has been that I started training people in soft skills when this was not like right now it's emerging as a field, and
Correct.
it's getting more and more organized. But I started
Organized.
at a time when it was not so organized. So
Right.
when it was not so organized, then it's not like that you had to have certain courses and then only someone will consider you for the job. But
Right.
if you were good, you were being considered. So that helped me. Um, and
Right.
even right now it's not so very organized, but at the same time, I really think that most matlab, whoever I've met, I've seen that most of the trainers who are doing soft skills, they actually are very good at their job, even if they have certifications or they don't have certifications. But I think 95% of the people, 95% of the trainers I've met, they're just wonderful at their job. And it's something that really comes by sheer experience. Like, if you are a good engineer, like, your marks are not going to tell that you're a good engineer. How good you can actually construct a bridge, that makes sense you know so
Right.
in the
Right.
same way, in soft skills training, how good you are, how you're able to convince people, how you're able to empower your audience, that's what matters more. And thankfully, I was just like, like, this still being an unorganized sector helped. And yeah, I was
Right.
considered for my sheer, like, only for my skills, as
Got it.
opposed to if I had a degree in it or not.
But once you get a job and once you had that 4 years experience, you did not bother doing any certifications and stuff, right?
So what I did do during those 4 years and afterwards also is that uh, I actually kept on appearing for different workshops, like,
Right.
specific workshops. That is the unorganized bit I'm talking about. So even the learning was very unorganized at that moment. Right now, you do have one or two or three offline or online courses for soft skills training, and I do know about them. But
Right.
then that time, the training that was available to you was that you could attend workshops, and they were separate workshops. Like, for example, you'll go attend a workshop on emotional intelligence, you'll go attend a workshop on time management, and etc etc, like that. So I kept on appearing for certain workshops that some colleges organized, or sometimes some speakers organized,
Right.
and kept on owning my skills in different areas. That's what I did.
Got it. Great. So, okay, 4 years you were teaching the age group between 18 and 21. I think it was mostly with respect to, like a finishing school, how to appear for an interview. It would have mostly been job related, right? When you're teaching 18 to 21 year olds. And
Job related also, because I was teaching students who were going to become, like, office professionals. Like, these were students who were training to become, these were learning office management, no? So then you have to
okay,
do
right,
lots of other stuff like telephone etiquette, office etiquette, professional grooming,
right, right.
everything.
Okay,
Like, all the topics of soft skills we used to teach, not just interview.
not just interview. Okay, you're basically preparing for your corporate life or your
Yes,
professional life
yes.
and stuff.
Yeah, that's so, because this was a skill based learning that they were getting. So they had to get the entire skill set, not just like, skills to be able to crack the interviews.
Got it. Okay, so now next you said you wanted to go for growth and stuff like that. So in this domain of training, what you do, what does that look like? What's the roadmap? What's the highest level? Where does one start off from?
So there are so many options available.
Okay.
I mean, there are also options available out there that I have not chosen yet.
Okay.
I mean, not in a full scale way. So there are people who just focus on corporate training. There are so many soft skills trainers who are simply corporate trainers. They'll just go off, like, go on training one after the other. They'll go on training corporates. But yes,
So
there's
corporate trainer is a full-time job basically. You just
yeah,
go, it's not a
they are also
self-employed.
freelance trainers, but then they'll focus only on the corporates. Like like a person like me focuses
Got it.
on schools, colleges, and corporate. But there are trainers, so many trainers out there who actually focus only on the corporates. They are also freelance trainers. And but yes, now by now the scope has widened a lot. You'll see lots of people, lots of companies, and lots of colleges are actually advertising for the position of soft skills trainers,
Right.
which is a very welcome change. It's actually a good change. More and more people are recognizing the need of having an in-house trainer, both in
Right.
colleges as well as in corporates. So that's a welcome change.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So what was your growth after that? Did you get the growth that you're looking for? What next?
I did. So now I started training people who were students, who were working professionals, and in fact, I actually felt so privileged that sometimes uh, people who had experience of over 20 years came and sat in my class. So that then
Right.
I felt really honored and privileged. So
Okay.
see, I taught, like I said in the beginning, I taught students who were pursuing CPA, CFA, predictive business
Right.
analysis,
Right.
digital marketing, and courses like that. So yes, this was a great learning experience, because now since I was training a very different class of audience now, so I
Right.
really had to upskill myself and really had to understand the difference between delivering a session to students who are just 18 to 20-year old, or a much, like, older audience than that. So those kind of things I had to adapt into. Also, this particular organization gave me a chance to travel a little, and go to their
Right.
other offices. Like most of the time I would travel to Bangalore also for my trainings. So that was also a wonderful
Nice.
experience, because see, I was a trainer in their Delhi branch. So in Delhi, I could, like, really keep my classes scattered, and like you're taking 3-4 classes in one day, like that. But then when you go to Bangalore, so since you just go for 2 days, so that meant taking longer sessions. Like from I would start at 9 a.m. in the morning and end at six or seven, and then next day same, because like I was available in Bangalore for just like one weekend in a month.
Right.
So that gave me the opportunity to do this kind of training. That you're kind of doing a full day training,
Right.
teaching so many topics together. And then again, like I say, that for a soft skill session, you have to make sure that from the beginning of the session to the end, it's a high energy session. You know,
Right.
so to maintain that kind of high energy for myself, for the students, since like 9 in the morning to 6 or 7 in the evening, that was something. Also, it used to be even more challenging and interesting for me, because I would travel also in those days only. Like, so I would, like, Friday night I wouldn't sleep, because you get scared that you have an early morning flight. So what if you don't get up? So I wouldn't
Right.
sleep Friday night, and I would like reach the airport around 3 in the morning, and then I would
Right.
take a 5 a.m. flight, and then I would like directly land into the center. So, so it used to
Wow.
be really physically taxing, because like you're traveling, you have not slept, and now you have to
Yeah, you
deliver.
haven't had your sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, and now you have to deliver a full day session. But like that time I used to feel that yeah, it's a little bit taxing, but the excitement of being able to do it, and the excitement of conversing and training people who are from a different cultural background, who come with different, little bit different needs, so even
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was interesting. So this was still an interesting opportunity for me, and even now when I look back at those times, those were one of the, those were days that I really relished and enjoyed, though they were physically taxing. But again, the power of will, so they used to be wonderful. So yeah, I did
Got
get
it,
the
Ananta.
growth that I was looking for.
Great. You said, the first 4 years it was 18 to 21, and then next you had the opportunity to train people who had 20 years of experience. What is the difference between training somebody who's just 18 to 21 and then, somebody who's got 20 years of experience? What are the changes that you had to bring in for you
Yeah.
to kind of continue?
So actually, the the change is in two ways. One is in the content that you're delivering. So someone who is in the range of 18 to 20 needs the basic content, needs to know how to write an email, needs to know how to appear for an interview, what
Right.
to do in grooming and all that stuff. But someone who's already a working professional knows how to write emails, knows how to groom for office. So what they need is they need skills that can help them do their job better. So they would need things like SWOT analysis, they would need things like creating a creating an effective one page resume, how to do that. So they need
Right.
skills which can help them, like basically they need upskilling. So these people need skills, and the people who are working professionals already, they need upskilling. So that's how you to always like decide what is your audience, what do they need, and accordingly give them. Also the second aspect which is different is the way you deliver.
Right.
So when you deliver it to someone who's an 18 to 20-year-old, you deliver like a teacher. You know, you really handhold them, give them love, give them
Right. Right.
like you create a space for them where they can share. First of all, even like establish for them why learning this is important. They don't even know the importance of it. But when it
Right.
comes
Right.
to training an adult audience, older audience, then they know that it is important. They will also come with some experience and knowledge, and you have to as a trainer also establish yourself first, because they learn from you once they think that you know better than them. Otherwise they won't even consider you
Oh,
much.
right.
so so yeah, so these are the differences majorly.
No, that's a very interesting thing that you said, right? For 18 to 21, you don't have to, they are already coming and sitting and looking up to you as a teacher or a trainer. But then somebody who's got 20 years of experience, obviously they'll think about, you need to probably, as you said. So, what is that? Do you have a specific exercise or a specific 10-minute thing that you do to establish that? Is that a part of the activity for you inside?
Mm, so it depends what you have to do. So like for me, I had to take these like when I was doing these sessions with these people, we had limited time to do lots of things. So
Right.
how I established myself as a trainer there was, first of all, I carried myself with lots of confidence and power body language. Like just now when I'm even talking about it, power body language has set in. So
Okay.
you do like our communication, they say is 55% it's body language, 38%
Right.
is the tone of the voice, and rest 7% is the words that you speak. So when I'm delivering training to an audience which is already learned, first of all, I bring my best self to the session, because if I don't,
Right.
then I'm just a young girl for them who's come with like
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
in whose session they just come and sat because they were made to
Right.
or they were supposed to or whatever. So first of all, I need to establish that look, I am someone who knows what she's doing and who
Right.
can help you upskill in whatever amount of time we're going to spend together. Okay, so I
Got it.
just go with the power body language and with that mindset that I'm going to establish, like I'm going to stand there and establish that listen, I know what I'm saying, and I'm going to actually perform also. I'm going to give that also, plus the PPTs and the content that you share in the, I mean, of course, like first you establish it and then you live up to it also. If you don't deliver, then
Right.
it doesn't make sense. So then for the whatever number of hours that session is there, so the content that you deliver and how you deliver it, it has to then back you.
Got it. Um, Here's the thing. Has there been a situation when, the audience or the learners were a little high profile, too high profile for you to be comfortable? If you found yourself in that situation, how did you manage and come out of it? Did you ever find
Okay,
yourself in the situation,
I
first of
did,
all? You
I
did?
did.
Okay.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah, please
see,
share your
life is
experience
a
about
game of winning and losing. You don't win all the time. So
it.
when I
Okay.
say that I do this, so I'm remember now that you asked this question, I am sorry, I am remembered of a particular incident the day when I could not could not
Right, right.
establish myself like that. Okay, so what happened? I had to take a 4 hour session, and
Okay.
uh, with new set of students. So,
Okay.
so these were new set of students, and then they had kind of merged 2 3 batches together. Since soft skills training is common now, so they had merged 2 3 batches together. And that day, I was not feeling very good because of some personal circumstance that was happening. So I was not at the top of my game at all.
Right. Got it. Got it.
Like
You couldn't get your best self.
yeah, forget being on the top of the game. I was just there, like just there, that
Just
I
there.
was
Got it.
I was just there. So, and then I was meeting these new students. So with new students, you to first establish yourself, create a
Yeah.
connection and all that.
Yeah.
So what happened, so this was a 4 hour session, and also this was a, like, that day the classroom was full, it was packed.
Okay.
So so I went and I started delivering, and I was just delivering. That day I couldn't bring so much energy into the session, or establish that I knew what I was talking. I couldn't do all of the things that I previously talked about. So what happened that day was that after 2 hours they get a break, and half of the class left.
Wow. Okay.
So that happened, and they left. They were like, okay. So but then, honestly, um, that did not affect me much. One, because I was already a little immune, because I was facing something personally. I
Like
knew
you
that
knew it was not going to be
I'm not
great.
at the top of my game right now, so it's okay. And second of all, I still didn't, feel so bad, because I knew that whatever number of students is left now, I can bring in some high energy with this number. So I can deliver,
Great.
I can still deliver the next 2 hours well, because now,
Properly.
now the size of the audience was smaller. So then you can create more connect. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
with this size of the audience, I can still do fine for the next 2 hours. Let me deliver. So yeah, so this is, of course, this is an incident I'm not proud of, but this is an incident
No.
which gives you, you know, like, it humbles you. It tells you that
Yeah. Yeah.
you're not going
Yeah.
to win every day of your life.
No, I'm glad, Otherwise, it's boring, man. I mean, if you are, what's it, right? I think it's all about stumbling and overcoming. And I think, how do you overcome, and that attitude of overcoming? And even the way you candidly described it is so positive, right? You're not very bogged down by that. You're like, it happens. So, you know, to all the trainers that are listening, it happens. But I want to ask you this, right? You had this experience, no? I'm sure you would have told yourself, okay, this is not going to happen again. Because obviously, when we do a mistake, when something doesn't go the way we want, the first thing that most of us say is, okay, it's not happening next time.
Yes.
Now, of course, see, what happens in our personal life is not very much in our control. Sometimes you get news that kind of unsettles you and stuff like that. But how did you prepare for this next time? Did you have a very bad situation personally, but did you do better by not repeating the same thing? If yes, what changes did you do?
Okay, so I'll answer this question in two separate parts. One part
Sure.
is that one more thing that had I mean, there were other factors also that had gone wrong in that session. Like I said, that
Right.
some batches were merged.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
because the class size had become so big, that establishing connection also, and also they were not friends with each other, and they were not, like, comfortable with each other, these batches.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
one
Right.
learning
Right.
from this was that, we were not supposed to club the batch. Like, I asked the upper people who used to manage my classes that please do not club the batches like this. It becomes a little crazy, you know. And
Right.
second thing is, see, talking about, like, not bringing what is happening in your personal life to your session. So yeah, so I'd say that that day was actually an exception. That day something so bad had happened that I was actually immune. Like, like, even when half of the
Got
students left, I was like, okay, fine, this happened.
right.
But
Right.
yes, otherwise, what do I do? So otherwise, if I'm having a bad day but I'm in a session, so like I said, that I'm so passionate about teaching. The moment I'll start the session, the moment I, like, if it's an online session, the moment I press the button on, the class starts, or the moment I enter a class, then I'm a different person altogether, because that time
Right.
this
Right.
trainer personality of mine takes over. And because honestly, like most of the times I teach students, and they have this, spark in their eyes, I tell you. Like, most of them, they want to learn, they want to grow, and they have ideas. They're always bustling with ideas, bubbling with, so it's just a very amazing energy to be in. So how can that
Right.
energy, like, that energy catches on to you, you know
Right. Right.
and like, on top of it, I would still say, like, it's my passion for teaching. The moment I know I'm there, it's just like, it's a switch on kind of thing. So
Got
yeah,
it.
I mean, mostly now nothing personal affects the quality of education that I give. at any point of time.
Right, right. Got it. No, I understand. That was probably a one off thing and it can happen. And I think as you keep doing it, you also get muscle memory, as what
Yes.
they call. No, you just get into that role, you just transform. You forget everything else during that 3 hours, 4 hours, or, worst case, 6 to 8 hours. Great, great, Ananta. Now, you said some of the challenges that you faced when you were teaching the 18 to 21-year-old, right? The phase where you had to do the job of two trainers. In this organization, did you have any challenges, be it from the student's point of view or from the management point of view? If you did, what are those challenges and how did you overcome them?
Here the challenge that I faced was that I was a trainer. I was like kind of this faculty role, but most of the
Okay,
other every other person in the organization, they were doing a proper corporate job. Like some people working on content, some people were proofreading the content, some people were handling the IT. So it was a proper corporate kind of environment, and only I was the one who was this trainer or teacher kind of. So but rest all faculty, they just had visiting faculty. Rest everyone used to just come, take sessions and go. And I was the
right,
only in-house trainer who was a full-time trainer every time sitting with them. So the challenge that I faced here was that I was this. So I was always working on my sessions, creating sessions, creating PPTs, studying, creating content and everything. So that I had to do. Please forgive my language, but in the fish market of everything corporate happening around me. So I
right,
did not
right,
get that study kind of environment or a learning kind of environment where I could make my PPTs, study in peace, study books in peace, while
right,
I'm
right,
preparing for my session. When I'm in my class, of course, you're in the class, you're just doing your job, you know. But apart from that, when I'm not in the class, then I was surrounded by this proper corporate environment, and where no one could relate to me because no one, no, even not even
right.
one person was a trainer or a faculty there.
Got it. And here's a question for this particular job, right? Because previously you were teaching 18 to 21. You also very specifically told that the curriculum was the same and you just have to repeat it and stuff. But here, I think you had different audiences for each of the sessions. So how does one, instead of asking in general, how did you approach preparing for a session? What are the questions? What are the details you would find out about that session? How would you do that? And how, what was the thought process behind preparing for that particular audience or crowd?
So first of all, this company had a curriculum designed. They had their
Okay.
PPT, but
Hmm.
then I had the full liberty of, uh, you know, of organizing, planning, and delivering my sessions in the way I wanted to.
Okay.
And so yeah, so what I had to do, I had to study the entire content that they had. I mean, they had already told me that this content also needs some customization and upskilling and everything. So you do that according to whatever way you're thinking, and you deliver the sessions the way you are thinking. So basically, I had to analyze whatever content is already available, and then at the same time I had to find out new stuff. Like, you have to constantly find out new stuff, new activities you have to find out, because for each group of people, they will may or may not enjoy a particular kind of activity, you know.
Right.
Same activity that you do for college student might sound really foolish for corporate people.
Right.
So it depends. So what is your audience? So according to your audience, you need to choose activities. So you have to constantly like find out lots of activities. And using this podcast, I really want to put it out there that I feel that by now there are so many soft skills trainer out there, you
Right.
know but I don't think that kind of content is available. Us soft
Mm.
skills, like, I really feel the need that us soft skills trainer, whatever we are implementing, probably we should start documenting it out there for others. you know Maybe we should create websites, or maybe write blogs, or maybe write in our LinkedIn articles more. I really feel that there is a dearth of content. Like, for example, if you'll try finding activities now, if you search what are the activities that I can do for this
Right.
particular topic, you won't find much. So you have to always constantly think on your feed and come up with activities on your own. So I really think that we soft skills trainers should start writing more, so that someone who's starting afresh also gets an idea. Like if you'll Google something, you'll get an idea, no? Like for other subjects that have been forever there, there's hell lot of content. But for soft skills training, there's not much.
But aren't you, thinking like, this is something that I have done. Why do I want to give it out and make it one common thing? But if you do not, it will still be unique to you, no?
Yes. But then, see, I think that's a very limited viewpoint of life. If you just want it to be for yourself,
Right,
you know. So let's say, see, when I started my journey, I used to try finding lots of stuff, and I created bundle of notes and everything, because you're just starting out, you're getting a hang of everything, you're experimenting with your content, you're experimenting with your activities and everything. By now, that experimentation is done. I
right,
know what will land, what will not land with a particular kind of audience. Okay. So if I am sharing my knowledge out there in the world, and if
right,
a trainer who's just starting out is benefiting from it, that does not erode my presence or my me being important in the world out there at any point of time, because you are always constantly growing. Like as a trainer, you have to constantly grow. There is no other option. So in any
right,
case,
right,
any person, if they are using what you learning from your experience and everything, you like by the time they reach at that level, you are anyway going to be on the next level if you're
got it,
learning. So
got it,
how does that
got it.
erode you? Like, how can you have a limited, like if people forever thought like that, then knowledge would never grow.
Correct. No, that's great. Um, but I asked you about the challenges, and then we spoke about. Okay, cool. I thought you said something else, and then we never went back to the question.
I don't think there's anything we left. Maybe we can move to the next part of the journey.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So now that you are. So how long were you here, and then you're obviously now, I want to come to the point, you're self-employed now, you're on your own. That's the main thing that I want to discuss. What was the transition like? What was the moment you decided, okay, you know what, this is the time that I'm going off my own and stuff like that? And how did you overcome the uncertainties? Obviously it's not easy moving away from a job that every month end or the beginning of the next month you get your money, and then you move away from the system where you don't know where your next money is coming from.
So again, another beautiful, intelligent system of the universe. So at the back of my mind, I always used to, think about entrepreneurship. I used to respect entrepreneurs a
Right,
lot. And throughout these many years also, I would think about it, but I never thought that I had the courage to jump into it. I would respect and admire entrepreneurs so much. Anytime I got to know that this person is, starting something of their own or doing something of their own, I had huge respect for them just by knowing that much. But I never thought that I could.
right.
So, yeah. So even when I was working in my second job, I didn't think I could. But then this just happened
Okay.
spontaneously. Another very beautiful chance of fate, that I attended this one workshop. So, like I said, I kept on attending workshops and everything. So, I attended this
Yeah,
3 day
yeah.
workshop, and in that, so much opened up for me as a person, that I realized that
Okay.
my full, like, the realization of my full potential would be if I started something of my own, So, because I realized that
Right,
when you are in jobs, it's actually great to be in job. You're not less ambitious when you're in job. Even that's good. That requires lots of patience and hard work and so many more things. But then I
yeah,
realized that I had more potential than that, and I could do more. So, and I
right,
realized that it was time that I let go of my fear, because anyway, why does entrepreneurship, excites me so much? Because probably there's this seed in me that needs that, that was just getting watered throughout, and I just wanted to sprout now. So I suddenly felt that I was ready. And then I thought that right now I'm on a very high note. If I spend lots of time thinking now, then again I'll get into the rut of life. Also, I'm a very spontaneous
right,
person. If something clicks, I just like go ahead with it. If an opportunity clicks, I'll
Got
just
it.
go ahead with it. So it was very spontaneous, and I just, like, left, like, resigned, served the notice
Basically,
period.
that 3-day workshop is what kind of planted this seed in you, right?
The seed was always there. The 3-day workshop gave me the courage to just jump into it.
Trigger. Got
Yes.
it. So now, walk us through how you landed your first client. Was it easy, difficult? What all? How long did it take for your first client? What did you do for that?
Okay. So, okay, I think I would like to, like, I usually do not talk about these detours so much, but I think here,
Okay,
since we are exploring the journey, I think it's important to talk about the detours. So,
sure, please. Yeah.
so, to your surprise, what I started doing is, like, I started my business, and I actually opened a nail studio, if you know what that is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 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 I know. That's where they do manicure and pedicure and stuff like that, right?
Yes, yes. So all these artificial extensions and everything. So I was always a person who was, like,
So you're talking about a total career shift, career transition.
yes, yes, I am.
You decided to leave the training thing altogether and go to a
No,
different
I
thing.
did not leave it. I would go for, like, some freelance trainings and all.
Okay, 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 okay. Got it.
But I basically, like, my this I thought of trying this, like, as a businesswoman, running a small venture of my own. So I actually started with the nail studio, and which was
This was
there
in
for,
Delhi.
yes, this was in Delhi. That time I was
Wow.
residing
Okay.
in Delhi.
Fine.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
in
Please
Delhi.
go ahead.
And yes, I just started, and I, like, gathered the resources for it. And within a month or so, I started my nail studio. This was in April of 2019. So,
Okay. Wow.
yeah, it is. So, again, thankfully, my communication skills helped me a lot there, because when like, when you interact, I mean, I think that was the USP of my nail studio, the communication. Like, anytime any client would enter, then I would, like, really make them comfortable and relate. They related with me so much. They could
Right.
open up, they could talk. I'm also a good listener, as I'm a
Okay.
good speaker.
Okay.
So, yeah, so it was going fine, but, and on side, I was visiting some institutes and all for
Mm-hmm.
freelance sessions, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
not
Yeah. Got it.
organized stuff, but yeah, I went. So that is what started happening. But then when COVID hit, so interestingly, COVID
Mm-hmm.
made lots of people change what they were doing, and
Yeah.
even I was not spared.
Okay.
So when COVID hit, my nail studio was just 11 month old, and it was very new to be able to, take up, like, such a big challenge. So we did wait for approximately 3 to 4 months. Like, I did not open my studio for approximately 3 to 4 months, but then there were
Right.
bills running, like, for the
Yeah.
studio, for our rented house, for everything. So, but yeah, after 4 months or so, I decided that I mean, I kind of got a hang that things were not getting better. Like, though everything had opened up and all, but people were still like, there was lots
Yeah.
of
Yeah. Yeah.
a nail studio. I mean, nails is something which is luxury. Like, it's not your necessity
It's not a
also to
pain
come for it,
point. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I, like, took this hard decision of just closing everything down. And side by side, when COVID had hit, no, so in April, when everyone was sitting at home and just thinking what to do, so I knew that I had the skill of classes, so I started giving free sessions. In April of 2020, when we were all sitting in lockdown at home, so I started giving free sessions on body language, on, grooming and all that stuff, whatever people were interested in. I thought, let me just, I was just passing time at the moment. I was not
Right.
charging people also for these sessions. I was just giving them for free, to whoever was interested. And
Okay.
that saw good attendance also. Those sessions saw good attendance. So then, during that time, I also started, like, doing social media marketing for my soft skills session. But interestingly, that time, instead of soft skills, like, of course, like, money was dear to everyone at the moment, and, like, people were not really investing also so much. So, but instead of soft skills, I started getting queries for spoken English.
Wow. Okay. And the social media marketing you spoke about, is it paid or just sharing?
No, just sharing, like, on Instagram, Facebook, and
Got
everything.
it. Got it.
Thankfully,
Right.
I've got lots of followers. So if I talk about the present number, I have 2,182 on Instagram, And I also have a
Great.
YouTube channel with 2.63K subscribers.
Great.
And
Okay.
right now on LinkedIn, I have 558 followers. So thankfully, I'm like, I just know social
It's not a
media.
bad number. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm active on social media, and thankfully, social media has been really kind to me. Like most of the times, I have uh, gotten, like lots of queries and clients from social media itself, and these were not paid advertisements at all.
Great. Okay.
Yes. So I started getting lots of queries for spoken English instead, and I
Hmm.
thought, okay, I might as well do it. What's the big deal?
Okay.
So I accepted the request, whatever I was getting. I was like, okay, fine, let me teach English. So I did
Right.
that, and students loved. They could perform better also. And most of the times I was doing one-to-one sessions. So one-to-one sessions are very intense. Now you're
Yeah.
working with friends of an individual and helping them and holding them overcome their weaknesses. So thankfully, everyone started seeing great results also. So that's when I created this page on Instagram, Learn English with AK, because I was getting lots of English queries. Okay, so that's why
Right.
Learn English with AK, WID with. So just
Okay. Got it. Hmm.
just the username thing.
Just to get the username. Yes, I get
Right,
it.
just
Most of the
username.
things will be taken. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, and now I have 9,700 followers on that page right now.
Great.
Yes. So that's when I started sharing some English tips. And at the same time, of course, how will you take out the soft skills trainer from me?
Yeah.
So, of course, lots of soft skills tips also. And if you will
Right.
see the account right now, and these days I'm very much in the soft skills mode only, you will see most of the material that I've shared is actually soft skills, not English. So,
Right.
yeah. So it's a mix of both. So that's when I started taking soft spoken English and soft skills classes online.
So your first paid student came from social media.
Yes. Actually, the first paid student came from so she was an ex colleague's daughter. So that's the
Got it.
first paid student. That's where I got inspired that I might as well start putting
Yeah.
I said
Yeah.
yes to her, and then I said I might as well put status for spoken English. And the moment I put like just one simple, stupid WhatsApp status where it's not even a creative, you just wrote that spoken English class is this number. That's it. Like, just a very stupid status I put, and I got 4 or 5 queries. And it's like, what? I've been putting statuses for soft skills, and I did not get as many queries. And I was like, what? I didn't even like make a creative for this. I just wrote spoken English classes, my phone number, and I got 5 queries. I'm like, whatever. Let me do this also.
But did the students from your English classes convert to your soft skills students at some point?
Yes. So what happened is that, like whenever I got queries from working professionals, no. So since I was anyway doing one-to-one classes with them, so to them I actually gave English plus soft skills classes. Like it was like a combined curriculum. Because let's
Right.
say we are practicing English, but I am actually giving you interview questions to speak on. So that way
Correct.
I'm covering soft skills plus spoken English. So even till date, I would say that whenever any working professional or someone who's like out of their college life enrolls with me, I actually give them a mixed kind of curriculum where they also I do separate classes also, just say like there's specific interview preparation classes I do. So
Right.
those are completely soft skills.
Great. I think another thing, probably, soft skills trainers can take away from this was that, sometimes what you want to teach is one thing. Sometimes you just have to be a little flexible to go and teach what people want, get your
Yes.
first set of people, and then probably then use that as a funnel to take them to your soft skills. I think which is what you've done and which is great.
So again, I would say that be open. For me, I've
Mm.
been open to opportunities.
Right.
In fact, there have been one or two more other things also that I did along with my online classes during that COVID time.
Right.
That okay, I'm not going to mention now here because that would sound like lots of detours. But then
Okay.
I would say that be open to things. So many times people just make themselves rigid that I studied for this thing, I can only apply for this
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of job.
Yeah.
No other kind of job is for me. But my if you look at my entire journey, it's an anomaly in that case. Matlab, I have to forever been detouring in that case.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so, so I really think that we should be open. What do you know? Like, I've seen lots of people who grew up thinking that there was this one particular job that was I mean, and I'm talking about influencers. They're big
Right.
influencers right now. So if you look into their journey, they always prepared and grew up thinking that they're going to be this X job, and that was their dream job. They got it also. But when they started doing it within 1 year or so, that they realized that this is not it.
Not
This is
what they
not what
wanted.
they want. And then they tried something else, and today they are big names in what they do. And right now I have 3 4 examples in my head when I'm talking, because I know their journey, I follow them, I know their journey. So I really suggest that be open. Why do you have to be so rigid?
Oh, you can share their names if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I'm really inspired by, there's this, if you check Instagram, there's this girl, affirmation addict, her name is Payal. So she goes by the name Affirmation Addict. Her journey is like that. She literally manifested her dream job, but then when she landed it, she realized that this is not what she wanted to do. And now she's a very successful manifestation coach. And then there's this another one, mostly sane, Prajakta Kohli. She's a famous known name by now. She's an actress now. She's been a comic. She does
I've heard of
comedy
mostly
YouTube
sane.
videos. And so she actually always wanted to become an RJ. She became an RJ. And that's when one day someone suggested her that you're so funny. Why don't you try comedy? And then that's when she started making YouTube videos, and she became a huge success from there. And today, to by now she's 30 and she's achieved so much in life. What is it that she has not done? She's represented India in UN. I mean, she's been in an interview with Michelle Obama. Like, what is it that she's
Wow.
not done?
Right.
And she's only 30. So, I mean, I'm honestly, to share with you, there are people in my life who keep on questioning me that, Ananta, tu kuch bhi karti rehti hai. They're like, we don't understand your journey. But then
Right.
my journey is not for them to understand, na?
Correct.
My
Yeah, yeah,
journey
yeah.
should make sense to me. That's what I think.
Yes.
My
Yes.
journey does not have to make sense so to anyone in this
To
world. I
anyone. Yeah.
tell you,
Yeah.
not even my parents, not even my family. If it does not make sense for, if like everyone else apart from me, if it does not make sense to them, I don't mind. My journey has to make sense to me. That's the ideal that I go with.
It's funny actually. Your journey is the one that they need to kind of look and take, probably draw some inspiration or draw some positive energy out of it, saying that, oh, you know what, journeys don't have to be on straight line. Journeys can be, up and down and right and left, and
There's this friend of mine who keeps laughing on this thing that, Ananta, like, like I told you, there are 2 more detours that I've not really mentioned.
right.
So he keeps on, like, kind of
Could you
challenging.
just touch upon them? What is the business? One
Yeah,
was
so
nail
the other
studio.
other detours are, so I'm someone who's been into meditation for over a decade now. I've been meditating since 2011 end, every day.
Okay.
So I, like, in the meantime, when this COVID era was going on and we were doing
Right.
everything online from home, I did started dealing in crystals, and I did some healing also for people. So right now I'm
Great.
not really healing people professionally, and I'm not like dealing so much. But yes, those are also 2 things that I did. And
Crystals and healing. Okay, great.
yes. So yeah, so there's this friend of mine who really, like, whenever he meets me, he teases me, mocks at me, saying that, okay, right now you're doing this, next year I'll see you doing something else.
Right,
but,
right, right.
but then, yeah, I take it in a good spirit only, and I again think that, such honestly, this is something that I now go ahead with, and that is that your journey just has to make sense to you. Even if
Right,
it does
right,
not make sense to your parents or your family or even your, like, immediate circle, even that is okay.
right.
It has to make sense to you. See, your work is something that you're going to be doing for the maximum number of years in your life.
Correct.
And I've always been this person who's loved her job. There have been my friends, like, when they would meet me, and they would actually tell me, compliment me, that there's this friend of mine who used to compliment me and say that you're the only person in my life who, whenever I meet her and I ask her how's your work going, you always, respond so lively and happily, and you're happy in your job. Like, most people are not. So I've always been this person. I'm always happy in my work. I love doing whatever I do. So that comes from when you are doing what you really want to do.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like
Yeah, not
immediately.
what the society expects you to do, not what your
Yeah,
parents expect
yeah.
you to do. I have had marriage proposal rejections on this thing that, hey, you are a freelancer, and we want someone who's in service, like
Wow.
who's into a regular job. And trust me, like, here I would like to brag just a little bit, but I really want to put it out there that this guy or these guys, they had no clue that I was making more money than them being a freelancer. And I pity you. I pity your limited thinking. I mean, God bless you.
Right, 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 right.
So yeah, so it just has to make sense to you. That's it. You're the one who's going to be going to your job every day. You're the one who has to
Yeah,
live up to, like, this entire thing. Like, and if it doesn't make sense to you, if it burdens you, then who are you living your life for? The society or what? Like, I don't know.
totally, totally makes sense. You know, yeah, a lot of people would agree with you, but I think it's also a little bit of some people may have the luxury
Yes,
to take that chance and risk. Some people may have obligations,
totally,
but
totally.
as far
Well,
as journeys are concerned, it could be in any shape, form, size. You
yes.
know, yeah, there's this famous WhatsApp forward also that keeps going around, that everybody's journey is their own journey. Somebody's
Exactly.
journey maybe just 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And if you go into a spiritual aspect of it, your journey, you think it's only this lifetime's journey, but we really don't know if it's just that, or from how many hundreds and millions of years are you having your
Yes, I also
journeys.
believe in this thing. So, like when you are applying for different jobs and everything, you will actually crack that job. You'll actually land that job where, like we are supposed to meet certain people in our journey. In this
Right.
life journey, we are supposed to meet certain people, be with them, exchange energy with them. So naturally, so when you are applying for different professions, when you're even going for training, so whatever it is, then naturally you will be said yes to, and you would be saying yes to the places that you're meant to go. Even I believe in that. And yes, when I shared my earlier thought, I do acknowledge and respect everyone who's doing
Yeah.
whatever to make their ends meet. It's never easy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the message that I do want to still send out is that be true to yourself. If you're not true to yourself, then I think that there's something missing. But
Yeah.
whatever you may be doing, if you're true to yourself, then that's great.
No, it's easier said than done, right? Because you need a certain amount of maybe thick skin, or maybe conveniently ignorant, ignore people, conveniently not,
this comes with this comes with experience. Like, whatever things I am saying right now, they were not forever there, but today I have become this
yeah,
person who's,
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
who's just okay being invalidated also, you know so like right now I'm
Yes,
so much
yes.
able to validate my own self that I'm not looking for validation outside. But of course, like, this might not be true 6 years before or 5 years before. I agree with that.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing it, because you said one very important thing, most significant thing. You're okay with being invalidated also, right? I come from a sales background, right? And it's very simple as far as sales is concerned. If you, it's numbers, right? There is no deals signed without rejections. If you have to sign one deal, you need to go through 20 rejections, right? So uh, you have to only be happy with 15 rejections, because within the next 5 rejections, you're going to have your uh, deal signed, because that's how numbers work. You just can't keep going on the same pattern has to change. So I think probably to take away something from what you said about having your own journeys is, be okay to be rejected or feel invalidated here and there, because validations also will come, acceptances also will come. uh, at this point, I'd like to go back to your page, learn
Learning
English with
with AK.
AK.
Yes.
Yeah. You said you have just 9,700 followers, which is not huge, but I like the way that you think and the way you say, "Oh, I've got 9,700," because
Yeah,
uh,
it's huge for me.
it's great. It's great. I totally. It's so encouraging because people with lower numbers, because even your other pages, even your LinkedIn has just got 558 followers, and you seem very gung ho about it.
Yeah,
And maybe
yeah, I started growing my LinkedIn only 2 months before. Before two
great.
months, I was not really putting in any effort on my LinkedIn at all. So I'm very happy with the progress I made in the last 2 months.
No, no, yeah, totally. What I mean to say is, see, sometimes just the number of followers cannot be taken as a benchmark for knowing how much
Exactly.
conversions you're doing. Right? You might have 9,700 followers, but you might be probably signing up 10 students a day. But whereas somebody having even 97,000 followers may not be getting as much conversions, right? So I would like you to deep dive into the entire process of how you started that page, because that's a very important thing for trainers and coaches today, like putting themselves out there. How did you start off? Did you get into a process of growing the page? Did you post on certain times? How did you figure out what content? If you can walk us through that, and what are the numbers like? When did the first paid clients started coming in because of that Instagram page? And how many students have you got? If you can talk as much as possible about that page and business, it's brought to you, it'll be great enough.
So when I started getting, inquiries for my spoken English classes, that's when I created a page on Instagram, because right now, so I'm myself a very Instagram obsessed person. I love
Okay.
spending time on Instagram,
Okay.
and yeah. So and then while I had this nail studio of mine, even then I was posting on Instagram and Facebook, and it wasn't getting me lots of queries. But then you like build like you need to keep
Right.
on doing it. So I really feel that right now, of all the forms of marketing that's available to you, right now, social media is something that's really huge. So, you
Right.
cannot ignore it. You just have to have digital media, you have to have social media skills. And
Right.
that comes with, again, it comes with practice, it comes with hit and trial, like that. So,
Right.
all platforms are very different. So LinkedIn will you have to put out very different content on LinkedIn, and it will give you growth in a very different way. Instagram needs a very different content, like these. To give you an example, right now my focus is a lot on LinkedIn, so I'm actually creating lots of LinkedIn kind of format, but I'm not able to put or use the same content on my Instagram, because
Instagram.
when I tried, like I did post like the same posts there on Instagram, but they tank, because in Instagram people are looking more for entertainment, and there's lots of differences in all of the social media platforms.
Right.
So you to like see which platform works best for your model of work. Where are you getting work from? Then you have to see what to put out there. So yes, I mean, it's a journey. Even I learned that, like, you create a certain kind of content, you create a reel, it works, it doesn't work, then you create a different kind of reel. You post in the day, it works for you, it doesn't work for you, and then you post in the night, and then you again try. Also, I'd say that there are certain very good Instagram coaches out there. If you follow them, they are giving good content,
Oh,
as to
great.
good content and knowledge as to how to build your Instagram. So I
Right.
think someone who's new to it can, follow them, and those tips actually work. They're very good at what they are doing. So like there's this page I really like, Peony Collective. Right now her page is very big. She's got lots of followers. Peony
Sorry,
Collective.
what's it called? The Only Collective.
Peony Collective, Peony, and then Collective. I
Peony
think
Collective.
peony is the
Okay.
name of a flower. I'm not sure.
Right.
So
Got it.
Tony Collective. So this girl, she's actually doing an amazing job, and she posts. I like her content, and
Right.
so you can learn from those kind of coaches. Like whatever it is that you're trying to learn, you start learning from there. Like even when it's very new to me, but I would still like to share. Like I got active on LinkedIn only 2 months before.
Right.
So, but what I am doing is that I'm actually following people who are LinkedIn top voices, or people who are doing great, who have more than 11,000, 6,000 followers on LinkedIn and everything. And I'm just noticing what are they doing, you know,
Right.
so that I also kind of start getting a hang of the platform, how this works, what doesn't work. And then
Right.
every day, so as an entrepreneur, or as a trainer, or as whoever you are, wherever you are, this is hit and trial. Like
Right.
You put out something every day and see how it worked. Did it
Right.
work? If it did not work, so same goes for your products and services. You keep on putting them out and seeing what is working, what is not working. Then accordingly you customize every single day. So same goes for work, same goes for social media, same goes for you as a person. Yeah.
Good. What's the response been like? What's the kind of business that you've got from Instagram, that page?
So I'll be really honest. So more business I've always got from referrals. So like
Right.
when I started putting it out there that I'm taking spoken English and soft skills classes online, so lots of previous students came back to me. They wanted to learn spoken English now. So
Got it.
people who have, like, like when I was in that college and I was teaching, and they learned soft skills from me at that point of time. So they came back and said that I want to learn spoken English. So like that I started getting. And
Right.
then lots of students I got from word of mouth. Like one student is, if they're learning from me, then they'll go talk to someone else, and that's how they'll bring more people together. Also, when you come up with offers, like if they're coming in batches, then this is the thing. So then they naturally get more people on their own. So I think referral, word of mouth has worked more for me than social media, because the connect was already established, and
Right.
they already knew that I'm good at what I do.
Right.
So that was already established. But
Okay.
on social media, as you keep on growing, as you like, the more content you put out, that creates, I'm not getting that word, the exact word, but that credibility, that
Right. Right.
you know what you're doing, and that you'll be able to help them.
Right.
So that's why, social media marketing is absolutely necessary. You to always keep on creating content, and not just from a viewpoint of that this will give me work.
Got it.
You have to just keep on creating it. You have to just keep on putting it
Without
out
any
there.
expectations.
So right now, knowledge marketing is what's happening. You know, like everyone is selling them by teaching. You've seen this new format of seminars also that
Yeah.
has emerged in the last few years. So to
Yes.
sell your seminar, you actually do a seminar of 3 hours. You know.
Correct.
So
Correct. Yeah.
right now, what is happening is that everyone has access to all kind of information.
Correct. Correct.
So if you want someone to come and avail your product or service, you have to first go out there, establish your credibility, establish your knowledge, establish how you are walking the talk and how you can help them. And that's when they're going to come to you. So
Right.
same goes for soft skills training or any other, even if like you teach any other subject, you have to, like physics wala, for example,
Yeah. Yeah.
you have to go out there, start teaching people, and that's how you get more clients. Yeah.
Got it. And you also mentioned, your clientele are mostly schools and educational institutions, right? And then corporates are. So, what's the percentage split like? And what is the difference between dealing with clients from who are schools as opposed to corporates?
So most of the percentage difference would be schools and college students and trainings and all account for more than 80%, and
Got it.
rest corporate. So that also comes from a space of that my focus itself is more on schools and
Schools
colleges.
and
Like I
colleges.
said that
Yeah.
I like working with that age group, and
Right.
so it also stems from that belief system.
Right.
Yeah, and apart from that, you asked what is the difference between both. So difference, like I said in the beginning, it's
I
also
meant from a business development point of view. Say, for example, um, what are the things you do to get repeat business from schools and colleges, or do you even, of course it boils down to the work you do, and then but then you also got to maintain relationships and stuff like that from that
yes.
angle.
So again, networking, the thing that we started with, that comes in handy. So
Yeah.
if you network well, if you treat people well, which somehow it just comes naturally to me. I always talk nicely with people,
Right.
and being an extrovert also help. I'm able to, create connections with people quickly. So of course, that helps. And yes, you've already singled out the point, but for me still major point is how you deliver. if you मतलब मैं हिंदी में थोड़ा सा कोट करना चाहूंगी कि अगर आप अपने शहद को मीठा करते जाओगे तो मक्खियां अपने आप ही आ जाएंगी ना. So same applies in life. Like, if you are good, if you are working on your craft, if you are making it better day by day, then people will come on their own. They would
Right.
want to work with you, they would want you on board, they would want to invite you. So you have to always deliver. Like I said, you cannot be complacent.
Right.
I want to
Right.
share with you something that happened 2 days ago only. So I was supposed to take a session for 11th standard students. So,
Right.
considering my experience, by now I'm more than 10 years of experience, so teaching 11th standard students is no big deal.
Okay.
But that day, so all of this project happened in quite a rush. So I got very
Mm-hmm.
less time to make PPTs, to create everything, and so I was having very busy days in the last
Okay.
week of days. And
Right.
so my schedule was divided, like everything, the time was blogged to the T. So I had very limited time to create PPTs, make notes, or whatever. So I had to deliver this session the next morning, and I knew what I wanted to deliver. I had read for it. I had done everything, but yet I was, this thing, like there's this small dissatisfaction going on in me that I'm not prepared enough. So even when I was going to sleep, I was like, as if like, I'm not prepared enough. And I got up early in the morning, prepared more for the sessions, created notes, did everything that I could. I mean, so both the sides were there. Like one side, I knew,
Right.
I was absolutely sure that even if I don't prepare one thing, even then I can go and deliver this 4 hour session with ease, and it is going to be a cakewalk for me. At the same time, there's this part of me where it was like, I need to prepare more, I need to write more notes, and I
Yeah.
need to have more activities, research more for them. I need to be able to engage them for these 4 hours somehow, anyhow, you know. So, and I knew in my heart that I was being unreasonable with myself,
Right.
you know. I knew what to do, and yet I was questioning myself. So I did all that I could. Like I got up early in the morning, prepared everything. Though I did not even touch my notes in the session, I knew what to deliver. You know.
Right. Right.
So yes, the foremost thing is the quality of what you put out there. you know if you
Yeah.
are giving quality trainings, if you are giving quality content, if you are making a difference, all of us as human beings itself, like not just people who are in training or working or whatever, as human beings, our innate desire is to make a difference. We want to be able to contribute.
Right.
Anytime you'll feel dissatisfied in life is when you will, like, if you'll deep down look deep down, like go layer by layer, you'll find out that you feel that you're not making a difference.
Right.
you know So we basically want to make a difference. So even when I go for a training, even if it's for 4 hours, even if it's for a group of 10 students that probably I'm not even going to meet again, but I want to be
Right.
able to make
Right.
a difference. So
Yeah.
these are the things that work for me.
Great, Ananta. And another, not not spoken a lot. Getting paid, being a freelancer, getting paid is one scary thing for a lot of people, right? uh, Payments get delayed, sometimes people don't get paid. How have you What's your process here? How did
One
you?
thing that you have not mentioned, sometimes you get a smaller paycheck, sometimes you get a fatter paycheck. So income is inconsistent.
Yeah. What's your process? Forget small paycheck, fat paycheck you're getting, that's okay. Let's assume, let's kind of agree that that's great. But small or big?
I'm talking about matlab, the overall earnings, like,
No,
every
I
month
meant
consistently earning.
how easy it is to collect for you. Is that, asking for payment, is that a problem? Or no, they pay
I
it on their
don't think
own, or should you follow up?
Yeah, for in most cases, I don't think it's a problem. See, like
Okay.
when you start talking to someone about, like, an opportunity, when they approach you or you approach them, then so if you're working with good people, good organizations, I don't think it's a problem. Also, there's this inner sense of yours, like, that's always guiding you. Plus, of course, experience, but there's always this inner sense that who do you want to work with, who you don't want to work with.
Right.
So so like, it's both ways. Like, people are picking you who want to work with you. In the same way, you are also making a choice, who do you want to work with, who you don't want to work with. So I don't think it has been much of a problem for me most of the
It's not
time.
been a problem for you.
Yeah, most
Great.
of the
Do you
times, like,
take the money upfront or after the session?
no one pays upfront. There's always a cycle, like,
Okay.
I really want to put it out there to anyone listening that there's always a cycle, there's always a time period. Everyone has their own processes, everyone has their own
Right.
systems. You just simply understand that system, like, create a Like, have an open conversation, understand the system in the beginning. Then if you deliver what you're supposed to deliver, and they are delivering what they have to deliver and when they have to deliver, then there's never a problem. So thankfully this has not been a problem for me.
Great. Okay, Ananta. So now, what you've got 10 years of experience. You've been doing freelance, self-employed. You're a a guest faculty. What does the next 5 years hold for you? I mean, do you have a a roadmap, or for the person that you are, you're like, you know what, tomorrow I may not even be a trainer.
That's not going to happen, that I may not be
Okay,
even be a trainer. So with all my detours or whatever, training has been constant. So
has been constant.
yes. So that's not going to happen. Education is very close to my heart. It's not something that's going to
Okay.
change. And I was expecting that you would ask me, what is my vision for the next 5 years? What am I going to do? And I knew that I
Yeah,
was like,
that's kind of also what I asked. Like, do you have a roadmap? I don't want to put pressure on people, and I'm okay with people not having a vision. I don't have a vision, boss. Next 5 years is
yes,
going good.
yes.
I'll just continue.
So like I said before, that I don't feel the need to be validated. I'm okay being in my own skin. So yes, I my answer to this question simply is that I do not have a 5 year vision for
I
me.
see. Yeah.
Also, I think that now times have changed. Like, there was a time when there was this fixed interview question when people would ask, what do you want to do in the next 5 years? And people had an answer to that. But this
Yeah.
was 20 years before. This is not the present times. So we as a generation, we are so full of energy, full of information. We have access to so many things. We are so volatile. Also, things are changing so rapidly. One day AI comes into the market and start disrupting your jobs. Like, how can you even talk about 5 years? I don't understand. Like, no.
Right. Right.
so, so for me also, I do not have a 5 year vision as such right now. I do have a vision of what I want to do in this financial year, in this academic year. And yeah, so that's how far I'm looking at the moment. So yes, I know, as someone who's self-employed or who's a freelancer, or who's an entrepreneur, you have to have a vision. That's a must, no doubt about it. I
Right.
do have a vision, but I would say that right now my vision is for the next 1 year, and eventually when things unfold, and when like I said that I have not figured out everything yet. I'm in the process of figuring out lots of.
Figuring out. Right. Right.
In fact,
Right.
you inviting me to this podcast, this was such a welcome opportunity, in welcome invitation for me, because I didn't think that I had reached anywhere where someone would invite me for a podcast, want to listen to my journey. So I mean, I'm very grateful to you for this. So so
No. Likewise. I mean, your journey is yours, right?
that's
I
what I
mean,
think, that so right now I'm still in the process of where I'm figuring out what's working for me, what's not working for me. So once I'm able to kind of crystallize it more, what is it that is working more for you in all aspects, like work wise, my interest wise, financially, and all other aspects. So once I'm able to figure that out, then I can have a 5 year vision plan in that, you know that
got
where
it.
do I want to see this thing going in the next 5 years. But right now, I think I'm in the process of figuring out, and max I'm thinking is for a year ahead.
Got it. Here's another question. Forget 5 years. How is your next 5 months calendar filled out? Are you blocked? Is business there, or you need to go in search of business? How's that?
Let me let me drop a truth bomb to any freelancer who's listening right now. So,
Okay.
so it's not like my 5 month calendar is blocked or anything. So many times you just suddenly get trainings, like this training that I talked about. I got this on this Monday itself. Like Monday I got it, Friday I delivered. You know, so
Wow. Okay.
not that you will know so much in advance, or you will like, I mean, I doubt, even if star trainers out there who are taking corporate trainings every day, I doubt that even their calendar would be filled for the next 3 months. So
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
work like that.
Right.
You
Right.
keep on creating, and you as you go for trainings, so good word goes out. When you give a good training, then other people approach you, the same people want to repeat you, and that's how it goes. So again, like, see, if you are scared of, uh, or maybe if your circumstances are such that you need an x amount of money every month, and you cannot afford any plus or minus in that, then I would suggest that you know, have a regular job, have a full-time job, have a consistent income and everything. If you want to be a freelancer or someone who's doing something of their own, be ready to cry in the midnight thinking that what's going to happen next. Be
Where's
ready
your
to,
next project coming from?
yes, be ready to pray and beg God for help me, and be ready for all the, you know, like all the effort, and be even ready for all the adulation also. Like with big risks come big rewards. So
Yeah,
sometimes the rewards would be so big, you'll be, you know, like high on a tidal wave of achievements. And sometimes the time is going to be so low that only you are going to be there for yourself. Only you will, like, you will have to get up every day and tell yourself that things are going to be all right. So like life is for everyone, but like you matlab, this is something that happens in life with everyone, but this is something that is also going to happen in work with you all the time. So if you're
right.
not ready for all those challenges, then maybe, you know, just go for safer options.
Great. That is it. It's as simple as it, right? I mean, but of course, let's not forget. You said pray, beg, cry, but let's also not forget the methods that you mentioned, right? Networking, posting content, and maybe manifesting. Let's call it positive thinking, positive
Yeah. Also, one thing
affirmation.
that is very important and we have probably not touched upon is consistency.
Right,
So, even if you're getting work, you're not getting work, whatever is happening, you have to consistently post, put a good word out there, approach people, do whatever you need to do, and that needs to happen on a consistent basis. Again, you can't be complacent with that. The moment you get complacent with it, you don't get as much work.
I'd like to, kind of conclude with this question. Since you said, uh, about asking, or I don't know if I just came to my thought. Have you ever asked people explicitly for work, and when you had a dry time, hey, are there any projects? If you did that, what is the method? Uh, how do you do that in a very dignified way?
I think there should be no shame in asking for work. I'm hugely inspired by Neena Gupta ji. So there was this one time about 2-3 years ago when people assumed that now that she's married, probably she's moved to Delhi and she's not in Mumbai, and and then she actually put out an Instagram post asking for work. So someone who's at that stature, who is that kind of experience, if they can ask for work without any shame, where do we stand? And why should there be any shame in asking for work? you know
Right,
you can deliver something, you have the skills and the ability, and you want to make a difference, then why should ever there be a shame in asking for work? So
right,
again, validate yourself enough to be strong and confident to ask someone that, hey, listen, I'm looking for work, do you have some? So I never mind, like by now I've kind of like made myself very strong in this regard. And yes, it takes something. There was even a point 3 months ago that I put out an Instagram status saying uh, that I'm working as a visiting faculty right now, but I'm
right,
looking for more work. And if you know anyone who knows anyone who has any projects for me, or maybe there's work as a visiting faculty or whatever, and I would like to do that. And I put out that status on my Instagram, on my everywhere. Like, I have a huge social circle. Like, I mean,
right,
even if my like actual circles, the people that I actually talk to is less right now,
right, right,
there
right.
are lots and thousands of people who see me when I put statuses and all. So
Got it.
it did take something inside of me to put that
Right,
status out there. But trust me, even if it got me responses or not, but it did help me shake off a blockage that,
right,
see, I need to be so secure in myself that I can go online and say something like that.
right. Yeah, great.
We've had
Uh,
many, like, heart to heart conversations. In fact, like, if this podcast, if anyone who knows me personally listens to this, then even they are going to get to know lots of things about me, things that I probably don't talk about ordinarily. I have shared lots of, some things that go on in my heart, in my mind.
yeah,
And
yeah. It's been very candid, very genuine, and I think that's the that's another reason. every podcast validates the idea for us, because some of the things that you just cannot put it out there as a blog, right? When you talk to people, they share things that they've never shared before. You know, I have so many pieces of content from our conversation already. So thank you so much. I think I've covered all the questions. In fact, from the things that you said, I've only had more questions to ask you. But I'm going to reach out to you to do a session on manifesting. This is what I'm thinking. How can trainers, teachers use
Hey,
manifestation to get more students?
totally, we can do that. Also, I think I forgot to mention when I did my healing bit and all in the detour, I actually even taught a course on manifestation.
Wow. No, we should totally talk about these things, because a lot of people suffer from imposter syndrome. You know, they know a lot, but then, you know, they are worried to go out and put themselves out there. And I think you'd probably, we probably identified a guest who can, in a very candid, cool way, can kind of help people shake it off and just go out and, you know, what's to lose sort of an attitude. So that's totally what's
All of
been
this
the
comes with time and practice and lots of self-awareness. All the things that I'm talking about, these have come to me in the last 7 8 years of persistently growing as a trainer, work, and whatever ups and downs I've faced, and whatever ups and downs I'm facing right now. you know
right.
so yes, of course, whatever I'm talking about, be it being able to validate your own self, or not worrying about what someone is going to think, but you stand up for yourself, ask for work. So all of these things have actually, I don't want to give an impression that it's all very easy to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that it happens overnight. Not at all. It does take something. Every day you have to choose to come out of your comfort zone, or maybe every month, like whenever you're faced with different circumstances, you have to choose to come out of your comfort zone, which is never easy, which is never, uh, you know it's not something that you can just simply do it like that. It takes something. It takes
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
guts, it takes courage, it takes some tears, it takes some so yeah, so I don't want to give that impression, but again, I think to me everything boils down to being true to yourself, and being honest in your journey, and also recognizing that this is a journey you know
Yeah.
so don't think that you can very quickly reach the peak, because see, we all will eventually in life, we will reach the peak. But also understand, see, when you reach the peak, then also there are other stresses, to be able to maintain that position. Or when you have already reached the peak, then the only way left is to come down gradually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's okay, take your own time, keep on taking your steps consistently, and you will reach there. Have that belief in yourself. One more thing that I do want to put out is, there's this one belief system that helps me a lot, and that
Mm-hmm.
is that I say, use what you have to build what you want. So many times people think that we need resources first, then only we'll be able to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
For example, if you want to create a YouTube video and put it out there and maybe market yourself through YouTube, through Instagram, or whatever, you think that if I'll have an iPhone, only then I can do that. Or maybe I need a better mic, maybe I need better surroundings, maybe
Right.
like my room is not good enough for that. So many things we think, and then we get stopped. But I, as a person, really feel that use what you have to build what you want. So even if you have a Samsung camera on an Mi camera, please go ahead, shoot your video and upload it.
Right.
Your content going out there, your message going out there matters more than the quality. So you know um, don't get stopped there. I've seen lots of people getting stopped, thinking that if one day I will have this X resource, then I will do the Y
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So don't wait for the resource, use whatever you have and just go ahead and do what you want to do. I think that's the message that I do want to give out.
Thank you, Ananta. That is great. Use what you have and build what you want. I'll could be the title of your podcast as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you. Thank you so much, because I mean, this is a really original thought. So
I've never heard of this before. Although, yeah, the
this is
concept
an
is
original
there,
thought.
but
Yeah.
as a line, as a tagline, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Use
I
what
mean,
you
it's
have
not
and build
taken from
what you want.
anywhere. Like, I do read a lot, I listen a lot and everything, but this line is not something that I've taken from anywhere. This is something that I've, created for my own self, and this is how I operate. So, this is what I keep on reminding myself. So I definitely want, it to be there somewhere with my name. So I would love to have it as the title of
Title,
this podcast.
sure. Sure. We haven't actually gone to that stage where we've been putting titles, but now we are talking about having unique titles for all the podcasts. So, yeah, I've already got your title.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
Ananta.
This has been an
This
amazing conversation. I loved it.
it has, yeah. Thank you so much again, for taking your time out on a Sunday afternoon. It's been truly valuable, and for all the people who are going to listen to this, I totally believe, and I'm pretty confident that they're going to take away a lot of things, especially on the journey of growth. Simple things that you said, it's going to really hit home is what I believe. So thank you once again, and I'll definitely reach back to you for another podcast about manifestation. Let's figure out a theme for the next podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This has actually been, like we don't even know where all this time went, and this conversation was
Yeah,
very candid, and I've actually opened out my heart. I mean, I am this person who just speaks like whatever is inside in any
right.
way. But yeah, I've been able to share lots of things that, yes, I think even someone who's very close to me, even my sister, when she'll hear it, probably there are one or two ideas or one or two
New
things that
things
I've
that
shared that, even she wouldn't know that I think like this.
that's
So I've
great.
actually opened up my heart and my mind really, what goes on inside Ananta in this podcast. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I'm totally humbled and I'm very elated that this happened.
Likewise, I'm thrilled. I can't wait for people to check this out. And I'm really thrilled because you said even people as close as your sister may find something new. That's awesome. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you so much, Ananta. Before you leave, I'm going to stop the recording because you see, there's